Hello and welcome to another edition of HCC News. I'm Rachel Madrid.
And I'm Sam Rashida Butler. Here's what's been making headlines around Hutchinson. The weather this week has taken us on a wild ride with wind, rain, hail, sleet, ice, and snow. It is springtime in Kansas once again, but there's one weather phenomenon that we fear the most, the tornado. Robert Klein reminds us of a few tips to be prepared in case Mother Nature strikes.
Recent severe weather threats have reminded us that we do live in Tornado Alley, and it is once again spring in Kansas. But there are several things you can do to prepare yourself when a twister heads your way. The Storm Prediction Center recommends having a tornado plan in place based on the kind of dwelling you live or work in. Know where you can take shelter in the matter of seconds and practice a drill at least once a year. Have a predetermined place to meet after a disaster. Flying debris is the greatest danger in tornadoes, so store protective clothing such as blankets and mattresses in or next to you in your shelter space. Turn on your local TV, radio, or weather radio and stay alert for warnings. If you're in a house with a basement, get down away from windows and use some kind of sturdy protection. If you don't have a basement, go to the lowest floor, small center room like a bathroom or closet, under a stairwell, or in an interior hallway with no windows. Crouch as low as possible and cover your head with your hands. A bathtub may offer some protection as well. If outside, seek shelter in a nearby sturdy building or lie flat face down on the low ground, protecting the back of your head with your arms. Get as far away from trees and as cars as you can. After the tornado hits, keep your family or friends together and wait for emergency personnel to arrive. Render aid to injured. Stay away from power lines and puddles with wires. Watch your step to avoid broken glass and nails. Stay away from heavily damaged buildings as they may collapse. Do not use matches or lighters in case gas is leaking nearby. The best plan of action is to be prepared, and above all, stay calm and alert. And always listen for information from your media outlets and officials. For HCC News, I'm Robert Klein.
There's a popular new horse at Reins of Hope therapeutic riding program east of town. His name is Eddie, and he is helping children and adults alike strengthen their muscles and prepare for riding in the ring. But this horse is a little bit different than the rest. Eddie was donated from the Eaton Corporation of Hutchinson, and he's made of metal.
Well, Eddie is a very interesting animal. You don't have to feed it, you don't have to water it, and well, you don't have to brush it either. Well, it helps strengthen the stomach muscles and the back muscles so they can stay stabilized, so they won't move around, and it helps their legs and their calves and everything.
The Kansas Cosmos Fair has two new exhibits in Rotunda area. One that highlights the achievements of women in space. The other puts success of their popular camp program on display. Both are free and open to the public in the Rotunda area, and Tom Holcomb, Director of Education at the Cosmos Fair, took us on a quick tour.
The exhibit is the rise of the space woman. It helps us mark a couple of very large anniversaries in the history of space flight. It was 50 years ago this June that Valentina Tereshkova became the first woman to fly in space. She was, of course, a Russian cosmonaut, and they were well ahead of us in that department 50 years ago. 30 years ago was Sally Ride, who became America's first woman in space in the same month, in June. So in June of this year, we have the two huge anniversaries of women in space. Now the rest of the exhibit is about other famous women. In today's astronaut corps, it is not at all uncommon to see women, and many of our most famous astronauts are female. Space, obviously a very dangerous business still, and being an astronaut is not for everyone. Now here at the Cosmosphere, part of our thrust is to get more women involved in the space program, in the hard sciences, to realize that this is something anyone who wants it bad enough can do. 300 astronauts, give or take, over the years. So it is not an easy occupation to get into. If you're interested in being an astronaut, you're never too young to start. Here we are in front of our exhibit that talks about our camp programs. We are in our 28th season of what is now come to be known as Kansas Adventures in Outer Space, or Camp Chaos. We serve about 900 students a year in our camp programs during the summer. The purpose behind our programs is obviously to inspire students to take on the hard subjects, the science, the technology, engineering, mathematics, to understand that those are fields that we actually need populated if we're going to bring the future into the present. And we are trying not only to build scientists and engineers, but leaders.
Survivor and activist Elizabeth Smart will be the second speaker for the 2013 Diller Lecture Series at Hutchinson Community College. Smart will lecture on Tuesday, April 16th at 10:30 a.m. in the Hutchinson Sports Arena. Smart will speak on her experience surviving a traumatic abduction as a young woman. She has become an advocate for new legislation and programs to help children abducted and abused throughout the world. Tickets to attend the lecture are $10, with students admitted free. And just a reminder, students, we will be on assembly schedule.
Also, come out to the Stringer Fine Arts Center next Thursday through Saturday for the Orestia. The drama is a trilogy of Greek tragedies about the end of the curse on the House of Atreus. Tickets for the production are $8, with students and staff admitted free with ID. The show will be held at 7:30 each night, April 18th through the 20th, in the Stringer Recital Hall.
The Hutchinson Animal Shelter takes in hundreds of stray animals each year. The lucky ones are able to find new homes through adoption. This week we have a repeat guest that happens to be one of our favorites here at HCC News. Andre the cat is still at the shelter and still looking for his forever home.
This is Andre. He's our big kitty. He's been here since January. We really want him to get a home. He has a pretty purr and he just loves to flop on your lap. He is about 4 years old and in need of a good home. You can see him here at the animal shelter. We're open Tuesday through Friday, 1 to 6, Saturday and Sunday, 2 to 5. Phone number is 620-694-1924.
If you're not an animal person, how about helping a child? Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Reno County matches adult mentors with children in need. This week, Tiffany talks to Tommy Faust and Q about the program and how you can become involved.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Timish, and today I have two special guests in the studio with me. Tommy Faust, who is the Marketing and PR Director at Big Brothers Big Sisters, and Q, who is a case manager. How are you guys doing today?
We're well, thank you.
Good.
Pretty good, can't complain.
Good. For the viewers who may not know, what is Big Brothers Big Sisters about?
Big Brothers Big Sisters is about mentoring children, any child in Reno County who's 5 to 17 years old. Our kids can be anywhere on the socioeconomic spectrum. They generally, but not always, come from single parent homes. Just a kid who might need another set of eyes.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing to get involved with. Sure. What is the difference between site-based matches and community matches?
A community match would be where a big would meet up with their little once a week for 3 to 4 hours, and a site-based would be where a big would come to the school and meet up with him for about 30 minutes to an hour. They just really communicate with each other that way and try to have a good conversation and look over the little, try to help them out with schoolwork and that kind of stuff. So.
Gotcha. So what kind of benefits do these kids see from this program?
Our kids tend to do better in school. They get along better with their families and friends and adults in the world. They tend to start drinking later in life, which we want all children never to start doing until they're 21. But, you know, all sorts of social problems they may never see or they'll get to later than they might have if they didn't have a big in their lives. They do better, as I said, in school. They just get along better in the world because they've got another pair of eyes, another caring adult in their life.
Right. Well, and everybody needs somebody who cares about them.
Sure.
That helps. How many people are on the waiting list, children, right now?
There's 84 right now.
Ready to be matched.
Ready to be matched, yeah.
Usually, are there around that number of kids waiting?
Yes, that seems to be the number right now. It's held steady for several months now.
Okay. If our viewers are interested in getting involved, how would we go about doing that?
The easiest way is to get online at kansasbigs.org, all spelled out, and start filling out the application there. I think up at the top of the page it says apply or volunteer, and you can do that. Or you could call the office, and that number is 662-8161, and we'll get you started.
Sounds great. Well, thank you guys for being with us today. Let's send it back to the news desk.
Thanks, Tiffany. So, Sam, what do you think about the crazy weather we've been having this week?
I don't honestly know what to think about the weather. How about you?
I hate it. I think it's horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Thanks for joining us. That will wrap it up for this week. For HCC News, I'm Sam Ashita Butler.
And I'm Rachel Madrid. Have a great week.